despite the massive backlash in the media and across society when it comes to the banking scandal of debanking with Coutts and Co. and all the other banks have been cancelling people's accounts because they don't hold left-wing views or the liberal establishment views, there are not enough MPs in the House of Commons who are raising this issue. But there's a couple, and one of them is Jacob Rees-Mogg, and we have to give credit to Jacob Rees-Mogg for standing by his friend Nigel Farage on this issue. He decided to raise this question during Prime Minister's questions yesterday, and he decided to put Rishi Sunak on the spot on this issue.
Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does my right honourable friend share my unease that a bank that has the government as its largest shareholder should close the account of a senior opposition politician? Will he use the government's shareholding to ensure that there is an inquiry into these circumstances, because the subject data access request makes it clear, or certainly indicates, that it is the person concerned's political views that led to his cancellation? And does my right honourable friend agree with me that however much we may find them tiresome, members of the opposition deserve bank accounts?
Yeah.
So, firstly, that's the key point. When it comes to private businesses, and there is still an argument for, just like how private citizens and consumers have a right to choose, if a private business, a shop, chooses for various reasons not to serve you, that's always the argument, saying, okay, as long as they're not really being proactively discriminatory, then it's fine. There is an issue with Coutts and Co. When a bank is either directly publicly funded or controlled by the government, or is owned by a governmental bank, then that's the same thing with what we say about state schools or state institutions. That doesn't have the same right as a private individual entity. Because if something is publicly funded or publicly controlled, you have to do things in the interest of the public, because the public are the stakeholders in that institutions. There's a difference between a state school discriminating or a private school, independent school discriminating. So this is the same thing applies to Coutts and Co. Because you can't really go out there. Firstly, that's one issue. Second issue is that certain things are fundamental rights in modern society. One of them is having a right, for example, to a passport and having a right to a bank account. Because otherwise you cannot function as a legitimate citizen of that country. So this is the whole issue. You cannot go out there and illogically cancel people without any legitimate reason. So if you're a criminal, you lose your rights in the country. But at the same time, you can't really have the situation where innocent, ordinary citizens are cancelled because of their political views. Let's see what the Prime Minister said.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it wouldn't be right if financial services were being denied to anyone exercising their right to lawful free speech. Our new Financial Services and Markets Act puts in place new measures to ensure that politically exposed persons are being treated in an appropriate and proportionate manner. And having consulted on the payment services regulations, we are in the process of cracking down on this practice by tightening the rules around account closures. But in the meantime, any individual can complain to the Financial Ombudsman Service, which has the power to direct a bank to reopen their account.
Firstly, I love how every time Rishi Sunak talks, Suella Braverman and Ben Wallace, their faces like, we've had enough. Why are we sitting here? But at the same time, Prime Minister is a wet lettuce. I'm sick and tired of him speaking like a robot. So the context of what he said, oh, they were nice words. Yes, they were exactly what we wanted to hear. But because he's a wet lettuce, because he just stands there, like read it from the script, yes, this is a wrong thing to do, you know he's not going to do anything about it, unless you put so much pressure on him. And right now there is a lot of pressure on Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor and Rashid Sunak, and they are going to have to do something about it. But otherwise, they just see it as another scripted question and pre-scripted answer, like, yes, thank you so much for the question, this is bad. Next question, please. I'm sick and tired of this culture in Westminster, in the chamber of the House of Commons. We are producing robots as politicians, and this is tiring. Anyway, that's what the Prime Minister said. Yeah, he thinks it's wrong. Ooh, how naughty of Coots. Let me know what you think. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.